Shipping software is currently bottlenecked by humans. Shipping at inference speed. The things I was thinking about was how do we build for the next 1,000, 100,000, million and billion, trillion users. From the idea to implementation launch, it took me 10 hours. So this went pretty viral on Twitter, I would say. It built it within like 15 minutes. Agents are first-class citizens and they use software. You won't be using any SaaS. Agents are going to grow exponentially on the web. Shipping at inference speed. Hey guys, I'm Adithya SK. Before I get into talk a bit about our intro, I currently am a researcher at Microsoft Research Fellow. And on the side, I do a lot of open source stuff. I run an open source first research lab called Cognit Lab, which last year got funded from Meta. We got a grant from Meta. So in this batch, I wanted to explore how we can ship products or software faster, right? So shipping at inference speed. This title is taken from this blog. It's from Peter, who is the creator of OpenClaw, right? One of the things when I read this blog in last year, before OpenClaw actually was trending, was shipping software is currently bottlenecked by humans and the inference speed of these models, right? During the 6 weeks, during the 6 weeks of residency, my main goal was to kind of build something or ship a lot of things that can reach 10,000 people. And the main underlying goal was to increase adoption for the things I built. I had a very similar goal during batch 2. This is my second cohort. So there I was, the main goal was to reach 10,000 GitHub stars, which I was able to accomplish. And this time it was to reach 10,000 people, right? Perfect. So there are multiple projects which I worked on, and the talk is structured in a way that I'm going to talk about a bit about the project and the main learnings I had. It's catered more towards builders who are shipping fast and how to optimize for that, right? So, okay, there's a pointer. So there are mainly 6 projects which I worked on. Mainly 6 projects which I worked on. I'll go into detail of 3 of these. Omnidocs is kind of an unified inference layer for document processing models. Manim-Skills is a cloud code skill that helps you generate 3 blue 1 brown style visualizations. And there are a few more. And Vibemotion is the recent thing which I've been building, right? Let's get into Omnidocs, right? This is an open source repository. And the main thing is in the last around one year, document processing as a whole field has advanced in a lot of ways. You have multiple models from frontier labs such as DeepSeek. You also have GLM OCR. There are a bunch of OCR models that came out. Even Servum released an OCR model. But all of these models have a different way of inferencing. Document processing can be classified into multiple tasks such as layout detection, text extraction, OCR and stuff. And the whole point of this library is to have an open source interface so that each model is hierarchically distributed across tasks, and it makes it very easy to develop, right? So it's a Python package. You can do pip install Omnidocs, and let's say you want to do layout extraction. You just specify these particular parameters, which model you want to choose, and the interface remains same. And there are 6 different tasks, and we support 17 different models out of the box. You can run it locally on your Mac. You can also deploy it on GPUs using VLLM. And it has a unified .extract API. So you have task.extract, and it will basically do that. Here's another way of using Qwen to do layout detection and stuff. So the main point was to have a unified interface for these document processing models so that you write complicated pipelines. And let's say you want to change a single model. You can do it with ease. So you don't have to rewrite the whole pipeline again. And here are some stats. So I actually launched it 3 days back. Almost around 1,000 pip installs. 3+ companies are already experimenting with it and trying to build workflows. And 14+ PRs and 100 GitHub stars in the last 2 days. Yeah, so the main learnings from this, from more of a builder's point of view, is these are all basic tips, but I think it goes a long way when you're doing vibe coding or agentic coding, I would say. One is have a very clear agent.md file. You can call it cloud.md, but with clear do's and don'ts, common practices, coding styles, and everything. And whenever you're implementing a big feature, right, it's always it's always recommended to ask the agent itself to plan, understand the code base, and give you a plan.md. I generally do this before anything. And let's say your integration workflows, right? Let's say I want to build a new, integrate a new model into this. So I have this workflow.md that captures everything that needs to be done, from researching about the model, finding out what library is supported, and yeah, you can actually use AI itself to generate this, and also how you can verify these integrations. So if you have that one file, it becomes very easy for you to add new models. So now if I just prompt Claude on my phone, a new model comes out, it gets integrated pretty quickly and creates a PR. And I strongly recommend test-driven development. Use the strongest models out there to create test cases so that you know exactly what things break when changes happen, right? And one more interesting use case was when I was trying to get design partners for this, is I was actually showing them how to use Cloud Code and use this tool to build workflows. So there was one company where they had a very complicated PDF, and they had spent 6 months building workflows for it. And I asked them to verbally describe what their use case was. I just put it in Cloud Code, gave the documentation of Omnidocs, and it built it within like 15 minutes. And they were kind of impressed by it, right? And the next project is Manim-Skills. How many of you guys have seen 3 Blue 1 Brown's videos? I think it's pretty popular. And he uses this library. He created this library called Manim. And it's a Python library where you can actually write code and get these visualizations out. But the problem with most of these AI models is they're good at generating code for this model, but it's not exactly the quality like 3 Blue 1 Brown animations are. So yeah, here's a quick demo. Essentially, what I created was I actually used the repository 3 Blue 1 Brown open source with the actual code for the visualizations in his videos, and basically made everything compilable, everything verifiable, and created this Cloud Code skill, right? And essentially, you can like just prompt it and get an animation of multi-head attention. So this was just a single shot, and this happened because Cloud Code skills were, and yeah. So this went pretty viral on Twitter, I would say. It gained like, launched it on the Skills Hub from Versal. A lot of people from Versal also tweeted it. And here are some stats. So there are 2.5K installs, 700 GitHub stars overall, and over 500,000 impressions, right? The main learnings from this is whenever you're launching products or launching open source tools, it's easier to ride the wave, right? Cloud Code skills were trending like 4 weeks back, and like whenever when you build a tool which is riding that wave, it becomes much easier for you to get eyeballs on, right? And speed and novelty really matters here. Essentially, from the idea to implementation launch, it took me 10 hours to do it. Like I saw Cloud Code skills and I saw this use case which I wanted to work on, and within 10 hours I was able to materialize it and actually launch it, and that gained a lot of traction. Oh, this is something I'm really excited about, and which I've been building. So with the current wave of agentic systems like OpenClaw, Cloud Code, I feel like agent-first applications really are important. And one of the places where these tools kind of suffer are on creative tasks like video editing and stuff. So we are building something called Vibemotion. At a high level, it's a video editor built equally for humans and AI. So here's a quick demo. This is Cloud Code, and we essentially gave it a folder of images and videos of a trip we went to. And we have this editor which we have built in the background that connects to Cloud Code via MCP. And as you can see, it is able to understand those clips and actually arrange them in order. And the best part about this is, after it has orchestrated all of this, you can actually go in as a human and refine these things whenever you want to. So it's a video editor that's built equally for humans and AI. And yeah, this was built at a hackathon 2 weeks back. It was an Anthropic hackathon. We placed second place and we launched it last week, right? And here are some stats about it. So we have already 4,000 users on the waitlist, close to 250,000 impressions, and we are rolling it out next week for early user interviews. And here are some learnings and predictions which I think. One of the things I was thinking about was, how do we build for the next 1,000, 100,000, million, and billion, trillion users, right? By users, what I mean is not humans, but agents. And there's this popular podcast that came out by YC last week actually. It's they're calling this term called the AI agent economy, where agents are first-class citizens and they use software. right? And here's a high level thing, what I predict might happen. Agents are going to grow exponentially on the web. MCPs are going to become really, MCPs are a good standard right now, but they're going to be used more. Computer use agents, like even Anthropic bought a startup that does computer use. So there's a very huge market for agent first applications. There are already early signs. Figma has added, Figma and Claude Code kind of collaborated to add support. So you can actually prompt Claude to get designs now. And the barrier between designing and coding is kind of thinning out, right? MCP and computer use agents are becoming more widestream. And a dystopian view of how the world would look like in like 10 years is you won't be using any SaaS. You will directly be interacting with your AI agent through either chat, voice, or anything, and that will use all the tools that are meant for humans. And yeah, the final thing, did I actually hit 10K users? The answer is yes, but no. Across projects, if you accumulate, like Omnidocs had 1,000 installs, Manim had like 2.5K downloads. We have around 4,000 users on the waitlist. And the Netra embed model, which we present at AAAI, is being used by several companies, and it has 2.5K downloads. So if you roughly aggregate it, it comes up to 10K. But yeah, so was able to kind of hit the goal I wanted to. And yeah, thank you.